Ready. Oh, and we're live.
Okay. First, first. Right. To get out of my living room, I tell you that much. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get another background.
That's cool. That's cool.
Another-
Okay.
I don't want
we
all. All right.
hello, everybody. We are live now. We are live. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Hey
hello,
Chuck, how's it going?
hello, hello. How's it going? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, right?
Today is Thursday, all day, every day. Well, not every day, but all day today it will be.
Good, good, good. All right, all right, all right.
Yes.
Okay. Let
So,
me grab something real quick. I'm just gonna 1 second grab something real quick. But go ahead.
all right. Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to go ahead on and get started today. We'll wait for Chuck Finance to come back. Thank you for joining our live today. We're not going to be with you very long. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that pertains to business owners. But we'll first get our introductions out of the way. And I'll let you go.
All
I'll let
right,
you
all right.
start.
Well, Chuck Finance here, nationally certified financial literacy instructor. Been teaching financial literacy for about 6, 7 years. So, what I do initially is I teach people about money. I don't give advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you what stocks to buy or what to get into. But what I can do is I can actually teach you about what you are going to get involved in. So if you're going to purchase a life insurance policy, I can teach you about the policies so that you can understand what they are, so that you can make a better choice when it comes to the salesperson coming in trying to sell you a policy. So that's what it's all about. I'm all about the information. I'm all about letting you know what's actually going on so that you can make the best decision for your life. Your decision and my decision are going to be two different decisions, but I just want you to have the information to know that the correct decision is for you. So that's what it's all about. So that's what I do. I teach about and all that good stuff. So yes, now Miss Mychaela.
Hey everybody, I am the lovely Mychaela Vanison. I have over 12 years tax and accounting experience. I'm the proud owner of Premier Tax and Financial Solutions in Atlanta, Georgia, where I specialize in mostly business owners, but we do handle individual tax returns. I aim to help minimize liability on the tax side of small business owners as well as individuals. And today, that brings our topic. Today, we're going to talk about the home office business deduction. And basically, I'm going to just kind of give you, if you guys have been watching me, I kind of give you like the book definitions, the terms, just straight up what things are, and then we just kind of break them down. So, if none of you are familiar with the home office deduction,
Hold on,
uh,
hold on. Mychaela. Let me
yes,
let me go first, and then you bring
okay,
instructions because it's
cool,
let's
okay,
let's talk about why it's important, and then we'll go into the minor details.
we can do that. Okay, cool, let's go. Shoot.
Now, okay, now let's talk about a lot of people they want to start a business and they just don't know how. That's why you join the lab. That's the bottom line. So in the lab, we're going to actually show you how to formulate your business, how to start it, and how to get it moving correctly. That's one of the things that we're going to teach you out of several things. But what we want to do is tonight we're going to just talk about a lot of people want a business and they think about brick and mortar because of COVID, because of a lot of things, you see a lot of the major brick and mortar businesses closing down. When you look at how many offices are closing down or how many spots are closing down, when it comes to even Macy's, Macy's is even shutting down. Nordstrom's Rack, Nordstrom's, all of these companies, Bed Bath and Beyond, all of these companies are shutting down offices or outlets because it's not making lucrative as it was before. What we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about starting or the importance of setting up a home-based business so that you can understand that even before you go into the quote unquote brick and mortar or turnkey business, you can actually start at home and you get all the benefits of a big box, more Macy's or Nordstrom's or Bed Bath and Beyond. You get all those benefits, understanding that, but you have to do it correctly. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk today about the essence of why it's important to have a business per se, home-based business. 3 points I'm going to point out. The first point, it's a low startup. So what you have to think about is when it comes to your home-based business, you don't have to spend a lot of money when it comes to mortgage in an office space or mortgage in what's called a like I said, a brick and mortar place. You're doing it from out of your home. So now what's happening is in your space, you're designated a certain area where that's going to be your business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk real quick. I'm going to give you 12 businesses that started in the home or in quote unquote the basement. So 12 famous companies that started in the home. So I don't want you to think that you have to start large. You start small because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you work out the bugs when you start small. And then when you go to graduate to the large one, you've already done the nuts and bolts. Disney started in the basement garage, home-based business. Got it? Hewlett Packard. We all know Apple, right? Microsoft, Dell, all of these businesses started in the home, in the garage. Virgin, you know who Virgin is, right? Okay, got it. Amazon, we know Amazon started in the man's garage. Got it? And look at him now. See, he understood the long-term goal, but he started out small. Google started in the garage. Mattel, I didn't know that. Mattel, we all know Mattel. If you bought a toy, if you were a kid, Mattel. Maglite, the big flashlight, Maglite. Yankee Doodle candle. I didn't know that either. Wow, look at that.
Wow.
Harley Davidson. So think about these international companies. They all started in someone's home, in someone's garage, in someone's basement. So if they can do that, imagine what you can do, all with a little bit of training. Understand when it comes to the home-based business, and I love the idea of home-based business because everybody has a hobby. Everybody has something that they like. Everyone has something that they do. You have to figure out how you can turn that hobby into a business. And that's the key, because if you're already doing it, if you're already spending X amount of hours a day with this hobby, why not flip it over into a business? So now if you have a hobby of, let's say, making candles, okay, let's turn it into a business and let's start making this lucrative for you, because that's the same thing that Yankee Candle Company did. So these are things that you got to think about. Stop thinking that you have to come out kicking through the door and so large. No, you want to start small. But the nice thing about starting small is when you're starting small, you're working out small bugs and you're learning. So that's it, the low startup cost. That's why network marketing companies are excellent companies if the product and if the service is great when it comes to a small-based business, a home-based business. The problem that I know when it comes to network marketing, because I've been in it for about 15, 20 years, is that some of the companies don't teach you business. That's the key. And I'm actually working on a piece right now that's going to show network marketers how to run their business as a business. So I just wanted to share that with you. So now, low startup costs. Number two is the business training. This is everything that you can actually do in the process of you developing your business, how you can take classes and workshops to develop your business and your skills. And think about that. All of that boils down into number three, which is going to be the tax deductions. But these are the things that you can actually do on your spare time. And these are things that if you have a home-based business, you can learn how to run a business and have a business at the same time. And this is what it's all about. If you are going to actually do this, let's make a profit from it. That's all that's to it. And remember, it doesn't have to be a major profit. It's just a profit. But you will find that when you start actually managing your home-based business correctly, when you are understanding the books, the profit and loss, when you're understanding the marketing and you're taking these classes and you're taking these workshops and you're traveling and you're eating meals and you're doing all this and you're doing all that, all of these are what's called tax deductions. And those tax deductions actually lower your tax accountability. And Michelle is going to talk about that, but I just wanted to share that with you because a lot of time people, okay, let's look at it this way. This country is based on two things financially, the haves and the have nots.
Yeah.
The haves set the IRS code, they set the tax code to benefit them. So you have to understand that. Once you understand how the game is played, you can say, all right, now I understand what's going on. Now I see why uh, Jeff Bezos can make so much money. It's because he understands the system, he understands the code. And a matter of fact, I shouldn't even say that. He might not understand it, but he has people around him that understand. So they tell him exactly what he can do and what he can't do. And that's the importance of TheLAB with Mychaela and with Patrice. They can tell you what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to business. We will never do anything or tell you anything that's incorrect. We don't do that. So what we do is we let you know the possibilities of what you can do as long as you come in and you actually follow steps. Don't deviate. Don't add stuff. Don't take stuff away. And this is the important thing. So this is the importance of having a home-based business. So now once you start moving into a home-based business, you're a business owner. Now you start acting different. I'm going to let you know that because now you're starting to understand that, okay, my investments, how are they going to recoup and come back to me? What's going on? My time. How do I use my time to utilize so that my business is actually maximizing and all of these things? So what happens is when you have a home-based business, you're in training. Just think about that. So think about your first 12 months, you're training to be a business person. And you can do that at home. That's one of the things I really like about a home-based business is I can take 2 hours or 3 hours and I can study my business. And all of that will be an actual write-off because I'm actually it's called actively involved in my business. And these
Yes.
are the things that business people have to understand. Am I getting it right, Michelle?
Yes.
I got to make sure. Listen, I got to make sure I'm getting it right. And these are
Yes.
things we have to learn. So what happens is when you open up that home-based business, your first, I say, 12 months or so, you're developing habits. You may take a loss, but understand you're developing habits so that what happens is when the big time explosion comes, you've already developed the habits of how to run your business, what you need to look for, what you need to look at, and all the good things. You've worked out the little small kinks and the little small bugs that will come up when you when you least expect it. And that's the key. That's important. So that's so Mychaela. So is that good enough when it comes to
Yeah, yeah. I want to just reiterate what you said a moment ago, so that that doesn't, miss anybody. What he basically was saying is when you are actively in the search of work and you're doing that in terms of business, you can actually write that off. That's what he basically was saying. So when you're out looking for jobs, as a business owner, you're actively seeking work within this particular field, you can actually write that off. So yes, you're absolutely correct. I think the way you broke it down in this manner, basically, it should set off, some fireworks in a few people's, minds, to let you know that it's not that hard. It's not hard at all to get this up and running. So the three things that you pointed out are very key. The number one was this low startup. And I think a lot of people during the time of the pandemic, they found out just how quick and easy it was to start a business. But the purpose of why we're on here today is to show you how to run your business properly, because it's one thing, we talked about this last week, Chuck, Patrice, and I. It's one thing to have a business, but it's another to have a hobby. So when you're doing business, you have to make sure that you're treating the business like a business. You're going to have expenses to that business, but you also have to be in the mindset of, I want to make a profit, because that's the purpose of being in business, right? So yeah, I think that is awesome in the way that you broke that down. Now,
hold your thought. You know that and what we're the Schedule C document is the document that shows the profit and loss. So what a lot of people think that they have to make a profit. You don't have to make a profit in the first year. And correct me if I'm wrong, is it up to 3 years, Mychaela?
Yes, so it's up to 3 years. The IRS will allow you to, have a loss. They understand business owners when you first start business. Sometimes, depending on what type of business it is, you may have more expenses than you have money coming in. But after that third year, they're going to look at it like, okay, you
Right.
should be making some money by now. So a lot of people that have losses on their tax returns year after year after year after year, you're actually setting yourself up for a trigger to be audited.
Because you're not learning something. That's
Yeah.
all, because you're not learning something. And if you haven't mastered your craft in 3 years, something's wrong with that. So what we're letting you know that you can take a loss, but understand that Schedule C shows your profit and loss. So if you have, again, a startup business, you're gonna have to buy supplies. You're gonna have to get things done. And understand all of that is coming out, but all of those are going to be deductions, which Mychaela is going to talk about. So understand that you're going to, people think that when you come out the gate, you have to make a whole bunch of money. No, you're developing your business, you're developing your craft. That's what you're doing. So understand that. And when you get it, you're going to be, oh, okay. What we do is we look at the end product. We look at Jeff Bezos now. We didn't look at him when he was in his garage.
In his garage, yeah.
We have to look at and understand that all of those 12 companies I mentioned all started from an idea in somebody's garage, somebody's basement,
Yeah.
somebody's corner room. And it's like you can do the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just that we want to make sure that whatever you do, we show you in the lab the process of how to do it, what you can do, what you can write off, all the good stuff. And the thing that's so nice about this when it comes to the lab, all of this is legal if it's done correctly. It's all legal. And
Yeah.
people like, people, well, you can't do that. No, well, Mychaela and Patrice said I can. I'm going to listen to Mychaela and Patrice. Why? Because they're the official ones. They're the ones with certificate. They know what they're talking about. Why am I listening to your $2 broke behind? Got it. And that's what it's all about. So I just share that with you because what's going to happen is there are going to be some things in your way, but you're going to have to break through them to understand that how bad do you want your dream to flourish when it comes to,
Mm.
I mean, how the level of understanding, how do you want it? So that's what it all boils down to. So go ahead, Patrice.
Yeah, you just basically brought up, oh my gosh, so many feelings just came over me when I was first starting my business. And a year before I started my business, there was this YouTube, just and it was Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker, and he has the "How bad do you want it?" And I've stuck by that. He said, when you want to breathe as much as when you want to be successful as much as you want to breathe, that's when you know that's how bad you really want it. So if you guys are out there and you're just have these ideas going through your head, I would suggest that you write out your goals, write out what it is that you want to do. You can literally Google a business plan template, get you a business plan, set up. It doesn't have to be all technical. It can be a 1 or 2 page business plan, but at least get something in place that you can have, that you can go by, so that when things change, you can make those adjustments to that plan or whatever. So, we just want to let you know that it's not hard to do it. I mean, you can literally, if you're a TikTok person, you literally see people right to this day who are capitalizing off of home-based businesses. You can literally get a T-shirt, get you some printing things, and you could have you a T-shirt company just like that. And you're making a lot of money. So you can do it. You can do it. And I'm so excited about this Schedule C workshop, because inside of the workshop, we're going to be talking about just these things, about, not just a profit and loss. That's just one aspect of it all. We're going to be diving in, breaking down, all the steps of what it takes as far as business, you know what I'm saying? Whether that's home-based businesses, you working for yourself, you working for others as a subcontractor. There's several ways that you can do this. And we're going to put that link up for that Schedule C workshop towards the end of this live, so that you guys can click on that link and join. And then also we're going to make sure that you get in our community, get in the lab. So we'll put that up a little bit later. So now, Chuck, that you kind of went over,
Shayla,
yes.
Can you tell them exactly what a Schedule C is, the document?
Yes. So a Schedule C document is just it's basically a form. It's a Schedule C form. Here's our advanced Schedule C audit workshop for you guys here, for you guys to join that. But a Schedule C is basically a form that's on your personal taxes. It's for sole proprietors, some LLC, single member owners, they use it. And that is your, it's called a profit or loss for your business. And it's basically where you have your income, you report your income as well as your expenses. It's a form that basically, because a lot of people, when they say, well, I have a business, but I don't see it on my taxes. You gave me a 1040. Well, I have to then explain that, yes, it's because you're a sole proprietor or you're this, and your income for the business is being reported here, and we have to show them on that line. But it's the same thing for a corporation where they file a business tax return and that income flows back through to them on the 1040. So that Schedule C is basically a form that indicates the amount of money you made as well as the expenses that you incurred, and at the bottom line, which is at the bottom of that, it shows your net profit. So that's all in a nutshell what a Schedule C form is. So it's for business owners where you report your income and your business expenses.
So my advice for business owners and future business owners here is to just go to the IRS.gov and download Schedule C. So you can take a look at it and you can see what's on that form. And it's just a form. So you can see what it is so that you can understand what you're going to be doing. This is all part of the paperwork management when it comes to being a business owner. These are things that you can turn this over to someone to do it for you, but you should have an idea of what you're reading so you can understand what those numbers mean. Because again, this is your business. So that's what I advise is just print it out and take a look at it and see and understand what the document is. And so that's why we talk about the Schedule C. If you have a business, you have to have, and you'll know what a Schedule C is. If you put it this way, if you have a business and don't know what a Schedule C is, you need to join the lab.
Yes.
Because you are going
you need to hire a tax professional.
You are going to fail. Just yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Shayla talked about the sole proprietor. All of these things are intricate pieces of data that once you join the lab, you might not want to be a sole proprietor. You might want to set up a different way. And this is what's important when it comes to starting out in the correct way so that in the years to come, you're safe with making sure that you started your goal and your process much faster, much better, because you want to make sure that there are no hiccups down the road.
Exactly. And you want to also just make sure that, number one, that your business is being, the income and everything is reported correctly. Because believe it or not, when you have a Schedule C and you're self-employed, you're subject to what we call self-employment taxes. And if your business is structured a certain way and you should have a different form versus a Schedule C, you could really literally be overpaying in taxes. So that's the importance of having a tax professional. That's the importance of joining the lab, so you get this type of information, so you can be more knowledgeable. Chuck, I do have a Schedule C. If I could, maybe just let me see if I can share my screen, just so people could see what it looks like. This is actual. Can you see that, Chuck?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So this is what a Schedule C is. As I said, it's a profit or loss from business form. The business name goes here, the name of the proprietor, which would be you, the principal business or profession, business name. And these are just, different things. And then this part one is where your income go, and part two is where your expenses go. Part three is cost of goods. Part four is about your vehicle. Part 5 is other expenses. So this is pretty much a Schedule C. So if you guys have seen this, um, if you have seen this on your tax return and you didn't know what it is, now you know this is a Schedule C.
Well,
Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, because I'm excited. Go ahead.
No, and I will also want to throw this in real quick because my mind is always going. If you see this form on your taxes and you know you don't have a business, you should question that. You need to
Yes.
find out why that form is on there because believe it or not, Chuck, we do have some, you know, people who they, let's just say you're a W-2 earner and your income is kind of high. A lot of people do things to reduce their income by using this form. If that's something that you guys do, I would discourage you from doing that because if you don't have a legitimate business and you're not properly making those keeping record keeping, and you get audited, you can get in a whirlwind of trouble. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
That's what's going on with the PPP loans because people were filling out fraudulent
Schedule C form.
What they fail to understand is that the government is not just going to look at this application when it comes to the Schedule C. They're going to go back the year prior.
Yeah.
One out last year. So it's like, wait a minute. How did you generate all of this? What magical product did you get that you're making all this money within 12 months? So they're going to go back and they're going to back to the prior. And it's like, okay, all right, all right. Right. This is why people, they're going to get hemmed up.
I'm familiar with that where I was seeing, people who they kind of reached out to me about getting a PPP loan. And when I asked for the tax return, they would just give me a Schedule C. And I'm like, well, where's the rest of it? And that's how I knew that was just a Schedule C that somebody just pretty much made up. And Chuck, you're exactly right. That's how they're actually going to get you because the PPP was based off of prior information.
Yes.
Prior information. The PPPs that you got in 2021 was based off 2020. The one you got in 2020 was based off your quarters and your amounts from 2019. And if you don't have a Schedule C on file, then, also the EIDL, when people were filling out for the EIDL, Chuck, the SBA was actually asking for a form that's called a 4506T. That 4506T, you basically were giving the SBA permission to go and check your transcripts. So when you heard or saw the word 4506T and you signed saying, yes, I can do it, and you probably didn't get approved for that loan, that's why. Right. That's why you sent them in a Schedule C form and you didn't file it, and they know you didn't file it.
Right.
So yeah, that's that.
And this is why it's important again to become part of the lab and the family, because these questions, a lot of people can save themselves a lot of heartache by asking the correct questions. And this is what it's all about. So when you are trying to figure out the game plan when it comes to a business, you have to be able and surround yourself around people who are knowledgeable, who can help you walk through what, quote unquote, the minefields of all this stuff. And it's really not complicated. The system is set up. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. So this is a lean in moment. Okay, lean in moment. The government wants you to have a business.
Yeah, the government wants you to have a business.
The government wants you to have a business.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, we don't know that we can have one. We don't think we can have one. And we don't understand that we are qualified to have one. This is why you have to join the lab. Because once you understand the tax codes, how it works, how it's done, all you have to do is plug and play. That's all. And what's nice about the lab, and I keep, guys, if you ever heard me, I keep advocating the lab. It's a simple text message to Mychaela or Patrice. Hey, can I deduct this? No. Okay, don't do it. And that's going to save you along the road. And again, each person is slightly different. I listened to Patrice and I listened to Mychaela when they were talking about the Uber driver, and the what's it called? The Uber driver you guys were talking about?
Oh, the mileage.
The mileage, how
Yeah.
you have to have somebody in the car to take that mileage. And it's amazing because a lot of people don't know that. These
Yeah.
are things that little small little details that will save you when you get audited. Because I want you to understand that don't be afraid of the audit if your paperwork is fine.
That's correct.
If
That's
your
correct.
paperwork is fine, the audit is no problem. I sat on a workshop with an ex tax auditor, and he told us some secrets. And he simply said that a lot of things that people get in trouble with is because they try to hide stuff or they try to do things that are unethical. And
Yeah.
he said it could be a simple question where they ask about one thing and then the person gets nervous and they see that and they're like, okay, if you're trying to hide this, that's going to make me as an auditor look a little bit more deeper.
Yes.
If you fight me on this, that's gonna piss me off. And as an auditor, if you're pissing me off today, I'm gonna piss you off. And it could
Yes.
be something simple like, okay, a line item. What is this? Okay, you can't take that as a deduction. He said the best thing to do is say, you know what? I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay, that's cool. Do the math. It's done. But people get in there and they fight. It's like, no, you don't have to fight. Just understand that there's confusion. There are things that people have to understand. So now, this is why
Chuck, you giving them too much, Chuck. Come on, y'all. Let's drop some fires in the chat. Ooh, wait. You giving them too much, Chuck. Oh my
you
gosh.
guys have to understand when it comes to the lab, we don't play. We make sure
Yes.
the information we give you is 100% correct. We
Yes.
make sure that it's either 3 times checked or 4 times checked because we don't want you to get in trouble when it comes to your business, when it comes to taxes. And that's why it's important when it comes to joining the lab and the quality and the content that you're going to get when it comes to this. Yes.
Yes, yes, guys. Oh my gosh, this is some great information. I hope you guys are taking notes, soaking in. This Schedule C audit workshop that we're going to be doing is going to be one for the books. I actually attended a Schedule C audit workshop myself yesterday, and Chuck, you were exactly right. The speaker who were on, he said the same exact thing that you just said, the same thing about it could be just one little thing. He even talked about just, how some, when you're representing like the IRS, they want the client to be there with them. But how sometimes that may not be that because the IRS, they use everything against you. It can actually be sorry, it can actually be your facial expression when they're asking a question. That can be used against you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Did y'all hear that? Your
Yeah.
facial expression and how you're responding to a question from an auditor, from a revenue agent, can be used against you.
Yes.
So if I don't know what y'all thinking right now, but y'all better get into this audit, this Schedule C audit workshop and find out how to manage your business and run your business properly. It's nothing. I always tell people, if you would spend good money on food, you spend good money on clothes, good money on shoes, good money on whatever else. Let's get into the mindset of spending great money on your finances, your business, your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Invest in yourself. That's what it is, to invest in yourself as a business owner, right? So we have the link going across here. Be sure that you get this link, grab this link, go ahead on and join this workshop because it's going to be an awesome one.
Can I say something real quick? I'm going
Absolutely.
I'm gonna I'm gonna break it down to the core, to the deep core. Okay. There's something called tax liability. Okay. I'm gonna make it real simple so that everybody can understand it. There's something called tax liability. So remember, a liability takes money out of your pocket. Got it? So now you are responsible for what's called a tax liability every single year. So now, if my responsibility is, let's say, $1,000, I'm going to pay taxes on $1,000. That's my liability. Now, if I have a business and my liability is $1,000, but I have expenses for that business. All these expenses are going to be deducted from my liability. So that liability is $1,000, I have to pay taxes on that $1,000. But if my deductions are $500, now my tax liability is $500 now.
Mm-hmm.
I only have to pay taxes on the $500. This is not rocket scientist. It's just understanding that, okay, these are liabilities, these are deductions, and they're credible deductions. Now I don't have to pay the extra money. This is how business people save money when it comes to quote unquote taxes. So I just wanted to share that with you. And it's that simple. The deduction. Okay, I have a home based business, a percentage of my light bill can be deducted. Now, you see that? Now, all of these, you're going to pay it anyway. But if I can take a deduction, a deduction, a deduction, my liability actually drops. The
Yeah.
percentage, the square footage of the rent or the mortgage is going to be deducted. Okay. A square footage, I mean, your cell phone can be deducted. You know, all of these things that these are deductions that, and Mychaela, I don't know how many, but there are so many deductions that you can take as long as it's applicable to your business.
Business. Yep.
Right. So there's some stipulations that you have to do. And it's not rocket science, it's just doing it correctly. So
Exactly.
now Mychaela and I are talking business. Patrice, Mychaela, and I are talking business about TheLAB. We go out to eat. Right? We're talking business. We're talking business. So now there's some deductions that we can take from that. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what a lot of people have to understand. This what's going to happen is when you join TheLAB, you're going to get so it's called Satori, it's going to explode. You're going to be like, I didn't know that. Yeah, understand that this is what it's all about. So when you actually start your business and you start understanding the deductions that you can take, all of these are going to be on your Schedule C. So now it's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is great. So look at it this way. If you have children, okay, if you have children, you get a child tax credit, right? So what
Yep.
that means is that there's a deduction for that child. You have a business, there's no cap on the deduction. Am I correct, Sheila?
Depending on what credit it is, but yeah, for most business tax credits, they definitely, all credits have some type of cap to them depending on your income. But for the most part, when it comes to business deductions, there's there's a large area of room for you to deduct things.
Got it. So
Yeah.
I can get more deductions through a business than with the child.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely. You have
that's,
so many things from
that's
tax shelter.
okay, got it. So
Yes, yes. As a business owner, it is definitely, when you become a business owner, you definitely have room for more deductions than you would on the individual side. Just like when he said, I mean, if you prior to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which I think goes back in 2018, you could literally write off if you were actively seeking for a job. You could write that off. You can't do that anymore now as a W-2 employee. You still can do that as a self-employed person or someone who's a gig worker. So yeah, there's definitely benefits to being a business owner. Definite.
good, good, good. I want to make sure that my explanations are correct. So
Yes,
yeah, thank
yes.
you for clearing that. Thank you for clearing that up. That,
Yes.
and that,
But there are so many business deductions that a lot of people, Chuck, unfortunately, they miss out on.
yes.
They just don't know them. You have tax shelters, you have safe harbors, you have, most people just know about the income and the expenses, your basic expenses, but there are so many things that you can deduct as a business owner. And that's why it's very, very important to seek out a tax professional versus trying to do it yourself, the DIY, particularly if you are a business owner, because you're gonna, you just thinking that the computer, is telling you that you owe this, but it had you said, okay, well, let me seek out someone who can actually. I can compare to see what I've done. There's nothing wrong with doing that. More often than not, you're gonna see that tax person was able to save you a lot more money than you could doing it yourself.
Got it. Got it. There's I I I watch a lot of movies, and if you guys remember the Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah,
never get a chance, watch that again. Um,
love that movie.
now remember the scene when they were on the roof and they were doing the roof, and the guard was like he got some money and he was
Yep.
giving the taxes. And what did Andy Dufresne said? Well, do you trust your wife? And the guard grabbed him and held him over. And he was like, "Don't be talking about my wife, blah, blah, blah." He was like, "Listen, if you trust your wife, give her a certain amount and it reduces your taxes." And sure enough, Andy was telling him. Now, if you watch the movie, Andy was giving him tax advice, and it worked.
Yes.
And if you watch the movie, they actually changed the whole baseball season because he was doing taxes for all of the guards. He asked the guard, "Did you pay for that uniform? Did you pay for the firearm?" And the guard
Mm,
said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, okay, that's a tax deduction." And,
yeah.
and if you watch these things, it's like, wait a minute, if I have you, but you have to have a business. Okay, I
Yeah.
have a business. These are deductions. Okay, because it's for the business, it's not for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is why we talk about these things, and you know we you know
Yeah.
we make sure the receipts, we save the receipts, we do all of that. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick lesson real quick. Buy yourself an accordion folder. If you don't want to do your taxes, buy yourself an accordion folder, and every receipt you get for the business, you plug it into that accordion folder. So in July, this is September, all your business taxes, all your business receipts, you just put it in the folder for September. So what happens is you give that folder to your accountant, and they'll go through and do what they do. But they have a lot of what you call apps now that it's so simple. You can just take a picture of the receipt, and it'll load up, and it'll create a whole document for you. And it's amazing now. It's not as hard as it used to be. It's so easy now. It's just that you guys have to know it's out there, and these are services that you can actually get that's going to help you run your business more efficiently.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if anybody at this point has any questions, but if you have any questions, this will be a good time to get your questions out. Send a, type your questions in the comment section. If you have questions about Schedule Cs, if you have questions about anything we talked about, if you have comments, if this information is being helpful to you, let us know, and we can respond to that. If you found this information to be helpful, drop some fires in the chat, drop some hearts in the chat, because that helps us to know that the information that we're providing you is relevant and is helpful to you, as it pertains to just things that you may have thinking about, whether it's pursuing a business or whether you're already a business owner, and you knew about this, or whether you're a business owner and you didn't know about this. So if any of you guys out there have any questions, please, now is the time to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
let us know what you guys need to know so that we can put classes and workshops together so we can train you guys on the information that you need help with.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I do know that Patrice, she does have a text where you can receive text messages, where you can get in TheLAB. We can put that across the screen too to receive text messages. So you want to be able to join our community. And that is a platform where you can, reach out to us, as Chuck said, ask us those necessary questions, because it gives us an idea of, oh, we can talk about this later. We can explain, because believe it or not, a lot of times your one question is a question that many others may have, so it helps us to know what it is that you need from us to be able to put you in the right hands of knowing what you need to know. And if you want to join that, you can, to join our community, you want to just text family to 312-680-5468. So we're almost out of time, Chuck. So I'm just going to kind of run down just a little bit about the home office deduction that we mentioned earlier. And we've already talked about what it is, what it does. Of course, we know it allows qualified taxpayers to deduct certain home expenses when they file their taxes. I want to say this, taxpayers, guys, when you claim this, It generally must exclusively and regularly, those are the two words that the IRS use, exclusively and regularly use part of your home or a separate structure on your property as your primary place of business. So, for example, if you do hair and you got like a side trailer or something like that, that's a home office deduction that you could take. You know, if you've got a house or home and you have an office inside of your home, you can take that deduction. But I will go ahead on and tell you, you can't have a home-based business in your kitchen where you cooking
Right.
and where you're doing other things and you running your business, because if the IRS was to ever come, they're not going to allow that expense. They're not going to allow that credit. When it comes to home-based businesses, home office deductions, the structure or the office that you have, it has to be used exclusively for the business. So I just want to throw that out there, right? So some details about this deduction that can help you determine if you can claim it. I'm gonna just let you know right off the bat. Employees, if you are a W-2 employee, you don't have a business, you're not eligible to claim the home office deduction. We just said this is for business owners and this is for gig workers and self-employed folks, right? So I want to let you know it is available to both homeowners and renters. You can be in a home, an apartment, or whatever, condo, and you can have a space where you use that space primarily and for your business. And you, as a renter, you can take this deduction. I want to tell you about some of those expenses that Chuck talked about earlier that you can also write off. So it will be your mortgage interest, your insurance, your utilities, repairs, maintenance, depreciation, and rent. So because you're actually managing and running a business out of your home, these are legal deductions that you can take. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that. Let me just clarify with the homes and stuff. What the term "home" for purposes of this deduction is. I said already a house that includes a house, an apartment, a condominium, mobile home, boat, or similar property. It also includes structures on the property. These are places like an unattached garage, a studio, a barn, or greenhouse. You know, a lot of people are building up Chuck those barns and turn them into offices, those studios. They're doing that. It does not include any part of your property that's used exclusively as like a hotel or motel or similar business after that, right? Now, there are two basic requirements for your home to qualify as a deduction. Um, I want to say, just repeat that it might sound a little bit redundant, but generally it must be exclusive use of portion of your home for conducting business on a regular basis. For example, if you use an extra room to run your business, you can take this home office deduction only for that extra room, so long as it is used both regularly and exclusively in that business. I just said that. The home it must be your principal place of business. You can also meet this requirement if administrative or management activities are conducted in your home and there is no other location to perform those duties. Therefore, anybody, if you conduct business outside of your home, but you also use your home to conduct business, you may still qualify for a home office deduction. So that's why it's very important to seek out a tax professional, because there are different things that you can do and different things that you can't do.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Um, so, and then there are some methods that you can use. There's a regular method, there's a simplified method. Um, there's the simplified method, basically, Chuck, it just has a rate of like $5 a square foot for the business use of your home. I want to say there is a maximum size for this option that's 300 square feet. So the majority of people who take this home office deduction, they just may have 300 square feet. What I always tell people, Chuck, as a rule of thumb in your office, just take a tape measure and just measure it. That way, when you file your taxes, you'll be able to know, because you have to put in the total square foot of your home and you have to also put in your the place of where you're conducting business, and that's how you calculate that. And then the other deduction is just a regular method if those have more than 300 square feet. But I will tell you on that one, that is one where I see with the IRS, they like to see documents for that because it is a deduction where people do try to take advantage of it. But you know, if you know you're running a business, a legitimate business out of your home and you've been missing out, now you know, right? So I'll put up my booking link. I'll put up Chuck's information in case you want to reach out to any of us for Patrice. Sorry.
Should we tell them about the sign-in?
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that. No, we're gonna leave that for the lab.
Okay, let's leave for the lab.
You
So
know,
here's
we're gonna leave that for. We got little Drew.
we can't give y'all all the little sweet sauce. We giving
Little
y'all so
Drew.
much.
No, what sign-in? Oh, okay. No, we forget. I'm sorry. We're gonna
Yeah.
join the lab.
Yeah, we got Patrice. Patrice had another engagement to guys, so we want to make sure we're doing a good job for Patrice because she'll tell me, Mychaela. So to connect with me, guys, here's my booking link here that's going across the screen. If you would like to book a consultation with me, if you have any questions as it pertains to taxes, accounting, business, or any of that, here's my booking link. I'll let you take that down. And then we'll put up Chuck's information if you guys want to reach out to Chuck. Let me tell y'all, Chuck is the man. Chuck sent me a video the other day of someone who I look up to, and I immediately was just, I don't know, ever since I saw that, it's just done something to me. But I want you guys to follow Chuck. Chuck, Chuck knows his stuff. Here's Chuck's information. Check him out on Instagram. Chuck has been in the game for a while now. Chuck is someone I admire, I respect. He's never going to come to you without looking up and doing his research on some information. And when you give him the information, he want to make sure you know what you're talking about as well. So I love that accountability that the three of us, both Patrice and Chuck and myself, that we all have with each other, because our main goal is to equip you guys with the knowledge you need in terms of financial literacy. We are three individuals where we are fed up and we sick and tired of our people not having the information that they need. Now you have three beautiful melanated beings who are here trying to give you this information and give you this game. And it's up to you to take it. You know what I'm saying? So this Chuck information, we also have it in the comment section just in case you guys didn't get a chance to go it. This will actually also be on a replay. If you want to go back, just make sure you put #replay. And then, as stated earlier, if you have any questions or comments that you didn't get a chance to ask today, you're more than welcome to go to Patrice's YouTube channel and put those questions there. Chuck, I don't see any questions.
Okay.
I think this one was more so just very informative about us letting you guys know about this deduction. And sometimes, Chuck, it's just, some people, once you give them the information, they just have it and they don't have questions. But if you look this deduction up and you run a business, or you started your business during the pandemic and you didn't tell your tax professional about it, you may have missed out on a huge tax deduction that you may be able to take advantage of, going into this season.
Right. What I want you guys to understand, that don't be afraid. You have to have an intimate connection or an intimate relationship with your tax preparer. You want to make sure that you have that, because they're going to help you navigate this course when it comes to taxes. And that's what's key. That's what's important. Don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Trust me, when I took that course with the tax I wouldn't call him prosecutor. The tax, he was like, listen, a lot of people get in trouble because they're greedy. They're greedy. Like Mychaela said, the deduction when it comes to the square footage space, it's like there's no way. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. And they're going to know, because you know what they're going to do? If you take a deduction for a square footage space, they're going to Google your home and they're going to look at the square footage and they're going to be like, no, there's no way. Again, guys, it's not hard. It's so easy. It's so simple. You just have to know what we know, and we're here to tell you that. So that's why you have to join the lab and make sure you join that Schedule C class, because you're going to be there's some information that's going to be dropped that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. My accountant didn't tell me that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you join the lab.
Because to be honest, Chuck, most accountants, most tax professionals, they're not going to tell that business owner. They're not going to explain that Schedule C. They're just going to take the information, verify the information, and they're just going to place it on a tax return and say, here you go. This is either what you will be refunded or this is what you're going to owe. Nobody's going to break it down like how we're going to break it down. Nobody. Nobody's doing how we do it.
So we can break it down. So you
Yeah.
can ask questions. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think that's it for today. You know, Chuck, I don't see any questions or comments or anything. I hope you guys found this information to be helpful. Chuck, if you have anything that you would like to add,
Join the lab.
join this lab. Get in the lab. Get in the lab.
Yes. If you guys want to succeed, okay. If you guys want to go to the next level, join the lab. A lot of the things that I've learned it's look at it this way. It's like you have all this information, and one piece of data will connect everything, and then you clarify, and it will line everything up. That's what we do. We make sure that you have the data and information. Everything is all blurred and jumbled, but one thing Mychaela might say, or one thing Patrice might say, and it'll clear everything up, and you go like, "Oh my gosh, I got it now." That's why we do what we do, so we can help you navigate and understand, and correlate and put all things in space where it's like, "I got it now." That's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This was amazing, Chuck. I'm so glad to be on here with you this evening. I just cannot stress enough how you guys, as Chuck said, we keep stressing the fact, join the Schedule C audit workshop. It's going to be one that you don't want to miss. We're going to be explaining and breaking down things and asking questions like you've never, ever heard before. And it's going to be interactive as well, too. So if you're a business owner, if you're new in the business, or if you've been in business for a while, I highly suggest that you join our community, as well as attending this Schedule C workshop that Patrice is going to be putting on. And once again, to join the community, you want to text family to 312-680-5468.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Mychaela, my co-host.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Without good luck.
Everything, you and Patrice, you guys have taken my game to the next level. So I just want to thank you and just let you guys know that I appreciate you guys more than you appreciate me. How's
Yes,
that?
yes. Big, huge shout out to Patrice Stewart.
Yes.
You know, she is the brains behind TheLAB. And TheLAB stands for Life and Business, for those of you who don't know what that means, where we talk about not just business, but we talk about life. Because we understand that in order for your business to function, thrive, and work, your personal has to be right as well, right? And right now, where we're just all, you know, inflation is up, everything is going up. You want your mental to be right as well, because once you're right, you know, on a personal level, your business is going to be right as well, you know. So that's just something to keep in mind. So we're going to sign off. I'm not sure Patrice is going to come on. We'll be on tomorrow for Finance Friday. So we hope to see you guys and have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.